Imagine you're walking on a hot desert road. In the distance you see what looks like a pool of water on the asphalt, but as you get closer, it fades and turns out to be nothing. This is a mirage, a classic optical illusion. It's a perfect metaphor for Arthur Schopenhauer's philosophy. He warned that we're constantly deceived by illusions of the mind. Schopenhauer argued that the world, as we experience it, is not the ultimate reality, but a mental representation shaped by our minds. Borrowing the ancient Sanskrit word maya, the veil of illusion, he described life itself as a dream from which we cannot easily awaken. He observed that bright promises often don't keep their word, and happiness always seems to lie just out of reach. In other words, he suggested that what appears real to us may in fact be just an illusion created by our own perception. Think about a time you eagerly chased a goal, maybe a new job, a relationship, or an achievement. In your mind, obtaining it felt like it would bring paradise. But once you actually got it, the intense joy quickly faded or never fully came. Schopenhauer says this happens because we're deluded by the idea of happiness being somewhere else. Every victory leaves us a bit empty. The present moment often feels inadequate, like a little dark cloud crossing a sunny sky, hiding the light around it. Schopenhauer also pointed to illusions in the physical world to illustrate his point. A straight stick half buried in sand will look bent in water, and a twisted rope seen in dim light looks exactly like a snake. Our perceptions easily mislead us, just as travelers might mistake a distant oasis for real water. Modern science shows this too. Our brains jump to conclusions and sometimes see patterns that aren't actually there. Optical illusions and cognitive biases remind us that we often don't see reality clearly. Our mind fills in the gaps for us. In Schopenhauer's view, the line between what's real and what's illusion is always blurry. Beneath these illusions, Schopenhauer places a darker force, the will. Not the will of conscious choice, but a blind, restless drive, a ceaseless urge that pushes life forward and keeps desire alive. Visual suggestion, slow motion of puppet strings tugging an animated silhouette, heartbeat pulse overlay. This will creates a loop. We want, we reach, we briefly savor, and then the wanting returns. That churn of desire is what fuels suffering. For Schopenhauer, suffering is not an occasional misfortune. It's woven into the very fabric of existence because the will always wants more. This leads to a startling consequence. Even when the mind corrects an illusion, the will can still haunt us. You might see a mirage for what it is, but another craving, another image of fulfillment will appear. Visual suggestion, endless treadmill, or hamster wheel imagery, camera slowly pulling back to reveal more wheels. Schopenhauer's pessimism isn't pessimism for drama's sake. It's an observation about structural forces inside living beings. The mind tricks us, and the will ensures the tricks keep changing shape. Yet Schopenhauer didn't leave us only with bleakness. He pointed toward rare moments that lift the veil, aesthetic contemplation, compassion, and ascetic withdrawal. When we lose ourselves in great art, music, or a powerful idea, the incessant chatter of the will quiets and we experience the world without craving. Visual suggestion, dissolve into a gallery scene, a person transfixed by music, colors washing over them. Compassion, too, arises when we see another suffer and feel our separate illusions soften. In recognizing another's pain, the self-centered will loosens its grip. Even the deliberate renunciation of certain desires, the ascetic path is, for Schopenhauer, a practical way to reduce suffering by weakening the will. What does this mean for you? It might sound bleak to think life is all an illusion, but Schopenhauer's message is really about awareness. Recognizing these mental deceptions can actually set you free. Understanding that chasing desires never brings lasting happiness can make us more mindful and present. When we catch ourselves thinking I'll be happy, we can pause and start lifting the veil of mind. Little by little, those mirages in our minds begin to fade as we see how our thoughts and biases color the world. In the end, Schopenhauer's dark warning is meant to illuminate, not depress. Seeing through these illusions gives you philosophical clarity. The world might feel like a dream, but that means you can learn to change how you see it. By questioning what you perceive and where you place your desires, you'll find a calmer path through life's uncertainty. Even a mirage disappears once you understand its nature. Remember this next time you gaze at the horizon, what truly lies beyond it. If this unsettled you, that feeling is part of the point. Philosophy should make you look twice at what you take for granted. If you found this video useful, tap like to let more curious minds find it. Subscribe to Philosora and press the bell so you don't miss our weekly dives into perception, bias, and the strange machinery of the mind. Now I want to hear from you. Do you think Schopenhauer is right? Is life an illusion we can't escape, or is there a way out? Drop your answer in the comments below. The most thoughtful replies may be featured in our next video. Thanks for watching. See you inside the mind.